Hey guys, I just wanted to come in real quick and say that I appreciate everybody staying on top of your work and taking the time to work through the modules. I know it's really a lot of time-consuming work, but reminder, it is an online class, so each in-person class would be 3 hours, so the modules should take you about 3 hours, and then think about, if you had homework to do between classes, that would also be added. So while it might be taking you longer than you had hoped, there's really good information that you're learning through these modules, and so take your time and work through them. And a quick note on the discussion board, make sure that you're going back and reviewing what your peers have written, because some of them might write something back to you. Once the week is over, however, you do not need to go back and look at those discussion boards. I am reading each and every one of them. You guys are doing a fantastic job. I'm so busy on the discussion boards. I am grading them and sometimes giving you feedback through your grading, but I am not replying to every single one of those discussion boards unless I feel like there's something that needs to be clarified or supported or something like that. But most of the time, you guys are doing a really good job, and I am definitely reading them all and finding that you are sharing great information. So keep up that good work. This week, we're going to sort of talk about Universal Design for Learning, which is a practice that is used in this inclusionary model. And everybody has different opinions about inclusion and what that might mean. But really what is the basis of inclusion is that all people with disabilities have the right to be in a general education classroom. Some people think it should be 100% of the time. Some people think it should be part of the time. But unfortunately, still, there are a lot of instances where people with more severe disabilities are being taught in what some schools might call a unit or a special ed classroom, and those students very rarely get out of their classrooms. So, for example, when I was teaching at a middle school for students with autism, we had 8 students in my room. There was myself and 3 assistants, but they only got out of the room. The students only left the room for 45 minutes every morning to go to a special area like PE or art, and the rest of the day they were in the classroom with their peers that also were nonverbal who had autism. And so they very rarely had a chance to challenge themselves or be around like peers. And the problem with that is, when they go to a society, when they get out of school, they're very rarely going to be in a room or in a restaurant or in a place where it's just with people who are like them. So, you know, I believe that we should be including a lot more than we really are. But anyways, through this module, you're going to learn about inclusion and then a universal design for learning, which is sort of a front-end approach to your lesson planning. So let's think about if you see a house that's handicap accessible, you can tell if it was universally done or not. And this whole idea of universal learning came from architecture world, so that's why I always use this example. But you might pass a house that has a steel ramp going all the way up the front, and you can tell that was sort of retrofitted into the house. And there's lots of other houses that you would pass that are beautiful, maybe a nice little ranch, but you would have no idea that it was designed to actually be handicap accessible because it's very flawless. You don't notice a thing as you pass it on the street. And that's sort of what universal design for learning is in the classroom. So if you plan your lesson from the beginning, when you're implementing your lesson, the inclusion process is flawless. The students don't really know that all of these different things are happening because of the needs of different students. But if you don't plan for it ahead of time, then you're going to be passing out your test and you're going to be like, oh, sorry, Johnny, I forgot to do yours. Let me have that back and get you a different one. Well, then that one child is singled out and everybody knows he gets a different test or he gets a different assignment. So it's just more or less designing it from the beginning so that it's not noticeable rather than retrofitting it at the end and making it more noticeable. And then so in this module, you're going to learn all about that, and then you are going to open up a sample lesson plan, which will be in here, and then right here there's an attachment, and you're going to use this assessment tool as you're reading through the lesson plan, and you're going to complete this worksheet. It's just going to help you understand Universal Design for Learning, and you're going to upload that here. Other than that, you've got Chapter 2 notes. You guys are doing really well with those. Keep up that work. And let's see on the schedule. Next week you will have Module 4, which is a lot longer than the past modules, but you will work on a resource, an IEP resource guide, rather than chapter notes that week. So once again, I'm always available. If you ever need anything, feel free to text me or email me. You're not alone. I know it's an online class, but don't feel like you're on an island. You're welcome to come onto campus and meet with me, or whatever you need. I'm here to help you get as much as you can out of this class. So keep up the great work, and I will check in with you next week.